Hello, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I have recorded a video and updated y'all on what's going on. Nothing crazy. I have actually been doing great with my J pouch, but just kind of one thing after another life-wise happened, and yeah, I just ended up taking a longer break. But I wanted to hop on today and just give you a rundown of what's kind of been going on. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, this is not a real bird. We're just gonna start the video off with this. Not a real bird, just decor. Um, I about a year ago, um, in March of last year, I lost one of my cats, Nissa. She was almost 12, and it was very sudden, just out of the blue, and it was just hit me pretty hard. So that was kind of one thing as to why I haven't recorded in a bit. I have had her and her brother since they were kittens, and he's a year older than her. So that happened last year. And then in the summer, my mom and my dad found a kitten that had a really bad eye. It was swollen and red, and she had a little bump on her head. And yeah, they were gonna take her to a animal shelter, but they were full, and so my parents have 4 cats, so they could not keep her. So I ended up taking her, and her eye looks so much better. After different kinds of medications, it cleared up. She just has a little bit of that third eye that kind of sticks out. Her name is Penny Lane, and so she kind of came at a good time after Nissa had passed. And yeah, so she's my wild woman. She doesn't let her little eye or her little knot stop her. So she's a crazy girl. But anyways, life with a kitten. I have not had a kitten in 12 years because both my cats I had had for so long, and I don't miss the chewing and constantly getting into crap stage, but that's where we are right now. Update on my health. So it was like the end of November, I saw my surgeon because I was basically due for my 2-year pouchoscopy. But they wanted me to come in the office first since I had not seen him in 2 years, which was crazy. Just not having seen him for that long. That may have been the longest that I have not needed to go to their office, which is kind of crazy. But saw him, and I was just like, everything's been going great, so let's get it scheduled. The soonest they could get me in was February. It was right at the beginning of February, so last month. Did the pouchoscopy. Everything looked great, which is great. Exactly what I was hoping. I did start having some weird symptoms. So in December, I started having where I don't feel like I'm fully emptying my J pouch. I was worried I was going to have another stricture, and just like last time where I had to end up having surgery, the anoplasty surgery I had, I guess it's been 2 years, 2.5. So I was worried that was happening because I was having really bad accidents at night. It was not every time, so it was not a daily occurrence, but it was happening frequently. So I did mention that to him when I had my pouchoscopy, and he said it was a little tight, but there's not much give in the connection where he's connected the J pouch to my rectal cuff. So basically it's not a sign of a stricture. It's just kind of tight right there. But he was like, if it continues where it's bothering you and you're having trouble, you feel like you're not emptying, we can do basically another surgery. But he said he could make little cuts that kind of helps basically give it some more give. So basically he was like, let me know if that's something you want to do. But I've been just trying to see, without maybe having surgery, what is going on. I do still have some accidents, but not as bad as before. So I'm just trying not to, honestly, right now, I'm trying not to eat a lot in the evening. I try to have a bigger meal during the day if I can, and then just something small before, at dinner time. And trying to, which I'm usually pretty good about, cutting off food by 7 at the latest. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I do have some, like, I don't want to call it a full accident, but there might be like a little wetness in my underwear where, everything relaxes. So that's kind of been happening, but kind of the same thing. It's not happening every night, and it's not nearly as bad of an accident as it was before my pouchoscopy. So I'm kind of just playing it by ear because I would like not to have another surgery, but I also don't want to have accidents because that's not fun. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. But overall health of the pouchoscopy, the pouch, J-pouch, it looks great. Basically a good bill of health, and I don't have to see him again for another 2 years unless something comes up. So that was really exciting. Here are some clips that I took with my prep the night before and the day of. You'll see that I only needed to do Miralax for my prep, which is honestly so nice. It's kind of a plus of having your J-pouch because you don't really have as much intestines that, food is going through. So the Miralax is all I need, which I will take it because it's flavorless. And yeah, I just am not a fan of the flavor of colonoscopy prep. But yeah, here's some of those clips. I've also been dealing with some low iron. I saw my hematologist back it might have also been in November, and my iron was low. I kind of knew that it was getting lower because I was starting to have the symptoms that I usually have when I have low iron. I was getting, I'm kind of that weak feeling, fatigued. If I got up too quickly, I got dizzy. I was chewing on ice a ton, which that's only when I chew ice, is when I have really low iron. So I knew it was coming. Unfortunately, we were trying to get me in at the end of the year. Actually, now the more I think about it, I think I saw him in December. They were trying to get me in at the end of the year, but I don't know if between the holidays and then just insurance having to approve it, because it had been over a year since I had had an infusion, so they had to go through insurance again. So all that to say, it was like mid-January. It was before I had my pouchoscopy, but it was like mid-January before they could get me in, which kind of stunk because I was just like, I really need this infusion, and I wanted to be kind of feeling better before my pouchoscopy. But I got my infusion. Unfortunately, it does take some time to get into your system, so it probably took a couple of weeks before I felt less fatigued, and I was no longer craving crunching ice. So that was nice. So I have some clips of that as well, getting my iron infusion.
Absolutely.
plus now, apparently, or a change that has been made, is they don't have to do a test dose anymore. So the previous couple that I had, they did a test dose, and then basically you waited for a long time to make sure you didn't have a reaction to the iron before they then got you going with the pack of the iron. So I expected to have that, and even the nurse that was helping me thought so. She's like, you're going to be here a while. And then when she went to go get everything, she goes, okay, well, I just found out there's been a change, apparently. So that was cool. That didn't have to, I was not there nearly as long as we both thought I was going to be, but I did come prepared. I had a book. I had my Myrtle game, crossword kind of puzzle, and I had a lot of snacks. So I was ready. But yeah, so no test dose, just went straight into it. And it was nice. I was actually supposed to see my hematologist 2 weeks ago. And so they like to, once you've had your infusion, schedule you for 6 weeks after to just do another blood draw, see where your iron levels are at. So I was supposed to go, and I did technically go, but the power went out while I was in the waiting room, and that was kind of scary. Their doors are also automatic, so the doors wouldn't open. They had to like push them open. The good thing is they have tons of windows, so it was just like a light was off, but you could see. But because of that, I guess they made a call, and it was an estimate of, it would be like noon before the power came back on, and it was 10:30 when this happened. So they were basically like, if you're a patient of this doctor, if you want to reschedule, we can do that, but we can't actually reschedule right now because the power's out. So I just left, and they were like, we'll either reach out to the portal or, give us a call on Monday, because this was on a Friday. The good thing was that afternoon they ended up calling me back and got me scheduled. So I'm actually going, it's Saturday right now. I'm going to go on Monday this coming week. By the time this video comes out, I will have already probably had my appointment, because it takes a bit to edit sometimes. So, but yes, I'm finally having my checkup post-infusion to kind of see where the iron levels are. But I do feel like I am not currently chewing on ice or feeling the need to chew on ice. So I can tell that at least it's going up, if not quite at the range where it should be, but do feel much better in that area. So those are kind of the biggest things that have just come up recently in the last year. Like I said, there's been some life things, but overall, I have really been feeling well. I have not had any issues with my J pouch, so that's been really great. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Where I was hesitant to have my reversal surgery, I am just grateful that I ended up having the surgery and that things have gone well. I know that some people don't have success after their reversal surgery. Some people do, or all of our bodies are different, but I'm glad that it worked out for me, at least for now. I totally had no issues with the ostomy bag, so if it ever does fail me, life with ostomy bag was totally fine too. So, but I'm glad that overall things have been doing well. So yeah, health-wise, things are going great. I am working on some fun new designs in my Etsy shop. So this is one of my shirts that I made, a long time ago, whenever I started my Etsy shop. And I've got some fun new ideas for chronic illness shirts or stickers, things like that. So right now my shop's on a break because I'm trying to get some more stock of my shirts, and then so I can do my designs, print them out, heat them, or do it on the vinyl like this shirt. So that will be coming soon. So yeah, keep an eye on my Etsy shop if you want some chronic illness teas. So yeah, that's a little bit of an update of what's been going on with me. I do want to keep doing videos. I know right now it's harder because things are going okay. I talk about life with a J pouch. If you are interested in a specific topic, let me know. Drop a comment down below. I do want to do some different things that I've talked about before in the past, but kind of updated stuff as far as things that I travel with my J pouch. I actually flew last summer, and that was the first time, my first experience flying with my J pouch. A few years ago, I experienced, when I still had my ostomy, flying with my ostomy bag. So I may do a video about kind of that, what that was like, traveling, ostomy versus J pouch, what do I pack, things like that. So I may make one of those videos. I also may, I have a cookbook that's called the Trouble Tummy Cookbook that my friend got me several years ago. And it's got some really good stuff, especially for if you're in a flare up or if you're having a specific, like, limited diet. It's got different recipes in there, and I thought that might be fun to do a series, testing some of those recipes out and kind of going through what those types of diets look like. But yeah, let me know what you want to see from me on this channel. Well, that is it for now. I hope to be back on very soon. Like I said, let me know if there's something specific or any questions that you have, and I can kind of give you my experience. I know everybody's experiences are different, but I can at least give you what I've gone through, or haven't. But yeah, I will be back very soon. I just wanted to give y'all an update on what's been going on with me and why I disappeared, because things have been well, which is what you want. So anyways, give this video a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel, follow me on Instagram. It's linked in my about bio area. Keep an eye out on my Etsy shop. It is also linked on this channel. And yeah, I will see y'all very soon. Bye.